What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another exciting episode of No Cap Tomatoes, where we take the cap out of those Rotten Tomato scores. If you're new to the channel, it's your boy Shabazz, joined with his very lovely lady, his partner in crime.
It's Angie. How y'all doing?
If you're new to the channel, make sure you give us a like, smash that red subscribe button. This is our very second video. We're back in action with an awesome video for you all. Today we went to see, tell them what to see today, Angie.
We went to see Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire.
And we already know, like, we're a couple of weeks back on this one. We had meant to see it.
Yeah, I don't think we were sure if we were going to watch it or not.
Right, because so much time had passed, and we'll be quite honest, we saw this movie because of me. I'm a huge monster fan. This is not necessarily Angie's cup of tea, but how do you not see it? We've seen the other four movies in the Monsterverse, as they're calling it. So it started all the way back in, I think, 2014 with Godzilla. Then there was, I want to say it was 2017 was Kong on Skull Island. And then I don't know when the rest of them came out. I think they came out every 2 years after that. There was Godzilla King of Monsters. Then the one I was so excited for, Godzilla v Kong. Shout out Mecha Barbra Streisand. And then the most recent installment, Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. So just a quick recap or rundown of what went down in case you missed it or needed a quick reminder. This movie picks up almost exactly where Godzilla vs. Kong left off after their epic battle with Mechagodzilla. We see that both these monsters, these titans, are trying to adjust their lives in a time of peace. Godzilla spending most of his time above ground, fighting all the titans that have been released since King Ghidorah's demise. And on the other side, in the Hollow Earth, Kong is trying to figure out what it's like to be the last of his kind and kind of coming to grips with what it's like to be getting older. This goes on for a while, and everything seems kind of boring and peaceful until the little girl who spoke sign language to Godzilla that was unexplained in the last movie starts having visions that some great evil is getting ready to occur. At first, they think she's just going crazy. Then they think it might be King Ghidorah coming back. So they decide to get the band back together, the podcaster, the doctor from the last movie, and go back down to the Hollow Earth to figure out what's going on, who this real big baddie could be. Come to find out, it's not King Ghidorah. It's actually this little girl's lost tribe that's been stuck in the Hollow Earth for millennia now, it seems like. They are in trouble, they are in danger, and they're warning of the beckoning of this new evil called the Scar King, who ends up just being a skinny orangutan with a knife. But he's badass because he has the help of Ice Godzilla, who's supposed to help start the Ice Age or, Thousands of Darkness, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, Kong is old with bad teeth, Godzilla's hopped up on nuclear waste, and these two alphas have to find a way to get along and coexist, or the fate of the world could just be in peril. Spoiler alert, it wasn't.
Now let's talk about it. What were your initial thoughts, Boo?
That was the movie in a nutshell. I gotta say, I went into this movie with very low expectations. Whenever you're the fifth installment in a franchise, it's never gonna be something groundbreaking. I honestly thought that Godzilla vs. Kong was a godsend. I really do feel like this movie probably didn't need to exist. I'm happy they're out. If I'm just being honest, I'm happy they're out there doing it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I enjoyed the visuals, but I feel like, not to get ahead of myself, it feels like a kind of diminishing returns a little bit, because I remember going to see Godzilla when it first came out. I saw it in theaters. I saw the day I graduated from college. The last thing my roommates and I did, we went to see Godzilla, and Bryan Cranston was riding high off Breaking Bad, and it was really well acted, and it was really, the way they did the whole reveal of Godzilla and made you wait was really dope. And then they surprisingly followed that up with Kong on Skull Island, which was also really good. Samuel, obviously still in the show. John C. Reilly's performance was amazing. The visuals were good, not as epic, but I just feel like every single time it's gotten a little less, save for Godzilla v Kong, because they brought up Mecha Kong, Mecha Godzilla, which always has a special place in my heart. So this one, it was fine. I didn't have anything negative to say about it. It was harmless. So like you said, they start out and we see Kong, and from the jump, I realized it's gonna be a different kind of movie because it opens up with Kong battling these, not the skull walkers, but these hyena like creatures, and that was
That was just a
dope.
warm up.
That was dope, and I was like, all right, this is interesting. This is, it was an action flick. But then they kind of play on he's alone, he's sad, and he's looking for his family. He's looking for someone to belong to or whatnot. And out of nowhere, he's got a toothache. So he decides to go back.
Well, he got a toothache, I guess, from that fight.
Right. Okay. And so he goes back up to Earth to get his tooth taken care of. And I don't know, from when you start having Godzilla be lonely, excuse me, King Kong be lonely, I don't know. It kind of just, I don't want to know what Jason Voorhees thinks about when he's at home. I think a little too much exposure for me.
I liked it. I thought they were trying to go beyond, every like you said, they've made a ton of these movies, and there's always just monster versus monster, and now they're trying to give you that family drama you've been craving.
I don't know if I have that. That's the issue. I don't know if I have been
You
craving.
didn't know you're craving it, but this is what America wanted.
I kind of come home to escape my life problems, seeing Kong deal with his existential crisis. Am I alone in this world? I don't know. It's a little too
Feeling abandoned.
Oh, and by the way, I got a cavity. It just felt a little too, dare I say, slice of life, but with Kong in it. I don't know. That's when I kind of got my first red flag. This was gonna be. They didn't really have much to say. And then I think.
Well, we got that awesome extreme dentistry scene out of it.
That was really badass.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was fun, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to like poop on the movie because I feel like it wasn't something to be taken seriously. But I had to fight to finish it. I'm gonna say that was a bad sign. I did have to fight to get through it. It gave me a little bit. That's kind of an odd analogy, but it gave me a little bit of that last Star Wars movie we saw, where when they started bringing up King, is it Ghidra? King, how do you say it? Is it Ghidra?
Mm-hmm.
When they brought up him being like the ultimate villain again, and how he was the one behind it, I was like, sweet merciful Jesus, is King Ghidra like? Is he their Palpatine? Because he's always behind everything.
He's behind every attack.
First he's Monster Zero, or he's not Monster Zero. What do they call them? They call them not Monster, Titan Zero.
Mm-hmm.
And then Godzilla finally beats him, and they use his brain to power Mechagodzilla. But oh my God, he actually takes over. Now he's evil. And then in this movie, I kind of got a little nervous. I'm like, oh, it's King Ghidra again. These are the same signals he used. I like the fact that wasn't the case.
Right, they baited you with that. I was nervous too, but it wasn't.
It wasn't, but at the same time, I felt like the reveal. I almost kind of see. I'm a hater. I'm just a hater because had it been Ghidra, I would have been like, "Oh, this is stupid." But I felt like
you didn't like the way they went with it.
What, the lost tribe of the Iwa people? It wasn't my cup of tea. It was giving me, I don't know, it just felt warmed over. First of all, I don't really get the whole center Earth thing. It feels very hollow Earth thing. It feels very what was that one movie that came out? Travels to the center of the Earth, something like that.
Journey to the center of the Earth.
Wasn't there a movie that literally was like that? Like, yes. It was the center of the Earth and it was like a whole ecosystem.
That is a criticism. That is derivative of that.
Yeah, I felt like it was just like that with like. I kept really heavy Rey vibes from that one girl, and then when she ended up being like the chosen one to revive Mothra, I don't know. I felt like I both had seen this movie before, and was bored. Like I fell asleep during some of the fight scenes. I caught myself dozing off during the fight scenes, and I don't know. That was weird. I don't know. That's weird because this is my cup of tea, man. These are the movies I drag you to.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I'm hearing that. Maybe you didn't enjoy this movie as much as I did. I thought this was really fun.
You liked it?
Yeah. Well, I don't have. This was exactly what I expected it to be. I feel like this is my experience when I take you to like African restaurants. I'm
I was
disappointed.
I was just thinking that. It's just expensive rice. It's just expensive.
Meanwhile, I'm expecting the food to be really lit, and you're like never disappointed, but I always am.
Listen, y'all. If you ever go to a restaurant and the cheapest thing is $22 and it's a rice dish, you're getting ready to get screwed. Just accept it. Take your little pictures next to the firewall and go home.
That's a total sidebar. But no, I thought it was really fun. I thought they really tried to do a lot with the lore. I agree, they try to do too much, but I like that they try to do the lore with Godzilla feeling lonely, trying to find his family.
Oh, Kong.
The distress signals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Kong. Sorry. The distress signals that was calling to them. Her Gia having the visions. I like them explaining the whole Star King situation. Although it definitely came out of nowhere, but yeah. I was following along.
Scar, you know what Scar King reminded me of? You remember in Invincible when they had the Lizard League? It's like it's so campy. It's so campy. It's almost good, but it's not quite there. The Scar King. That's what I'm talking about.
Star King.
Was it Star King or Scar King?
Star, like the shape.
Like
in the sky.
Like I'm Star Boy. So he was a Star Boy? I don't know. I kind of wished it was King Ghidorah. No, you can't have it both ways. They can't both complain that it's Palpatine and also be happy. No, you're right. It had to be the Star King. Star King. The Star King?
Yes, the Star King.
I don't know. I just felt like... Okay, so they get down there. What did Godzilla do? That was one of my major gripes. What did Godzilla do during this movie? I feel like it wasn't Godzilla's movie. Why was Godzilla...
He was there to fight... Did they name him?
The ice Godzilla that the Star King had?
Yes, that the Star King had entrapped. It turned out to be actually a cuddly pet afterwards. But he was really there just to help Kong fight that one other lizard thing.
Yeah, but see, he's charging up the entire movie. I think that was part of the issue for me. Yeah. It's the villain. Okay, so you go from King Ghidorah, who is literally the king of monsters, a telepathic alien, that Hydra-like thing that grows back its head and has electrical attacks and releases all other titans. You have Mecha Godzilla, which is basically the mechanized reincarnation from hell. And then you have, like, the Star King, who barely beats Kong in a fight and has to use, like, an enslaved ice Godzilla. It just felt like they charged. I think that's probably why I was a little underwhelmed. I felt like Godzilla charged up the entire movie, and I almost like it was a plot point just to take him out of the movie, because he charges up and he has these badass, fights with the guy that one, like, serpent, the underwater serpent, so he can charge up more.
Tiamat.
But to what end? He almost got when he has his first initial fight post charge, he turns purple. He almost loses to Kong, and then when he gets in the fight with the Star King and Tiamat, it wasn't like he came in there and dominated. They still very much needed help. So I don't know. I just felt like they kind of wrote Godzilla out of it. Was too many. You know what it is? There, I'll say it. I'll say it. You hear it tonight. There were too many dang monsters. That's what it was. I had monster fatigue. It was too many dang. Tiamat, Ghidorah, Baby Kong, King Kong. Kong's got a metal arm. Godzilla's purple now. It was too many. Now the Ewok people. There was a lot of things going on in this movie. Dare I say too many things going on in this movie. It was overwhelming.
Yes, I did get a little overwhelmed at time too. But it was a ride. I think if you're a fan of the universe and you want to see monsters fight, they deliver. They deliver.
They do deliver. They give you the fight scenes. And don't get me wrong. Please don't let, if I sound tired or belabored, is because towards the end it really was a chore to get through. But there were definitely bright spots. I mean, Baby Kong, you've seen him everywhere. You've seen the memes. You've seen him online, the cutout. Baby Kong still is the movie. From the moment he debuts, first of all, completely misread that scene. Thought it was like Kong's lost long son or something that he maybe had a wild night, didn't wear a Jimmy, and like found out he had a kid 20 years later. We've all been there before, but to come to find out there's his baby Kong, and he's a dick. He tries to he tries to kill him. He bites
I
him.
actually that makes a lot of sense because imagine you're meeting him for the first time. He's free, and he's part of that evil group, the other apes who are evil for some reason. And I did think it was a little too quick for him to, because when Baby Kong leads Kong to that lake, I'm like, oh wow, they made up really quickly after that brutal fight to the death. But it was a trap.
I love it. I love he's trying to drown him. He bites him. I love what was the scene where he tries to save, like, I guess his brother or something. The monkey. I had the same experience. He pulls him up, and it's like, wow, maybe he's different. Immediately tries to stab him in the heart.
Immediately, of course. I mean, we didn't squash the beef.
Who are you?
Seconds ago.
Seconds ago. I'd rather fall. As a matter of fact, kick me down this hill. Don't you save my life. I like that. Because it's like, be careful what you wish for. I like that vibe. That we're not happy to see you. It wasn't cheesy. I thought Baby Kong stole it.
The first thing the Star King does from like a distance, I don't know how he sees it. He catches that Kong has a silver tooth and immediately like starts, I guess, mocking him. I'm not sure, but
they straight up clowned him. That was the best part about it. They roasted him, no words. Just look at this. He didn't just say anything, but I got that he had a fake tooth and he wasn't even a real monkey. I got this. I got the smoke. It was all pantomime, but no, he cooked him. It was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
He embarrassed Kong right then and there in front of those people.
And then Kong, is trying to get these apes to like unionize and free themselves from the Star King, but they want no parts.
That's how don't save them, Kong. They do not want to be saved. It was textbook. I don't know. The scene in the movie has to be Kong slapping the other apes with the baby ape. Like, if you don't, if that doesn't make you smile, I don't know. This movie wasn't for you. That scene didn't make you smile. It wasn't. Between him and the Baby Kong and what was the guy's name from Bullet Train? Bernie was hilarious. The podcaster, he was like the human comedic relief. Bernie Hayes. I like the guy Brian Tyree Henry. He's
actor.
Yeah, he's got good comedic timing. I like him a lot. He's to me like Little Rail, but they toned down a little bit to a point of like, okay, I can get with this.
No, not Little Rail catching strays.
I know Little Rail doesn't deserve that. Like, I look. Hey, look, please don't take that wrong. Little Rail, if you're hearing this somehow, we love you, Little Rail. I actually do. That's no smoke. I actually find you hilarious. But I'm picking up what Brian Tyree Henry's picking down. I think he has a really cool, calm, almost like a Tracy Morgan Little Rail mix. I don't know. It's sophisticated, but it's kind of silly. He's kind of dumb. He made me laugh. Whatever it was, his timing was great because the lines weren't even that funny, but he had me laughing. So between Baby Kong and the podcaster, that was great. But there was just so many monsters. There were so many monsters, and it just felt like the fight scenes kept going. It got to a point where I was good. By the time it was over, I was good. But let's get to it. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the point, the reason that the people are all here, right? The whole point of this channel is that we try to check or take the cap out of these Rotten Tomato scores. If you ever used Rotten Tomatoes, at least recently, one of our big gripes and the reason we started this channel is we go to watch movies. We don't know if we should watch them or not, based on Rotten Tomatoes. But we can't even trust them because sometimes you see a movie has a 90%, and it's a woman, trying to have sex with a fish. And then other times you see a movie has 30%, but it's actually good. Like, I remember they lambasted. The first time I ever kind of had this feeling was they lambasted Batman vs. Superman. And I loved it. Like I said, it was as advertised. Batman fought Superman. Was it ridiculous? Sure. But it was good. So let's do something a little different this time. We don't know. I haven't looked up what the Rotten Tomatoes score is for this one. Why don't you tell the people what your score is, Angie? I'll tell them what my overall score would be, and then we'll find out what the Rotten Tomatoes score was and whether or not it's capped. Let's do it.
I had a good time. I agree with a lot of your points about it being, little too much at times, but a lot of action scenes. The movie looked great. It it's not one of those social commentary movies. It's really just like good old easy entertainment. I give this a solid 75%.
25? I can see that. I always say if it has no rewatch value, then it can't be above a 60. That's like my hard rule of thumb. Like I already said, I think the highlights were Baby Kong. I thought the highlights were Brian Henry's performance. Visuals were amazing. If you're a monster fan, if you like creature features, you're gonna like this movie. I'm struggling to go. I don't think it has no rewatch value. I think I could definitely rewatch it again, but I had to fight a couple of times to like finish the movie. I would definitely have seen this without the channel, so I don't want to go too low. I think I would do like 72. 72. I think
It's a little
75.
stingy with it.
Little stingy. Honestly, I probably would have done 75 if you didn't say 75.
Okay.
I agree. I think 75 is fair. I think it has some rewatch value. I wouldn't personally rewatch it again, but it was visually appealing. And if only to watch one ape slap another ape with the baby ape, I think it's earned.
No, it had a couple good cool scenes that we didn't talk about. That scene in Brazil where the ice
Oh yeah, it froze
where the ice freezes.
Yeah.
They had fun.
I was on the ropes by then. I think I was already a nodding right then. Let's see. So we're saying around 75. 75 seems fair. Let's reveal that score. Drum roll. Rotten Tomatoes gives our movie of the week, Godzilla x Kong, an overall score of 54%.
That's the critics.
That's the critics. Wow, 54%. It says critic consensus. Come to Godzilla x Kong, the new empire, for the sheer monster mashing spectacle. And stay for that too, because the movie doesn't have much else to offer. I think they're
accurate.
I think that's real.
We have different numbers with same consensus.
We have different, same consensus. If you want to watch Godzilla and Kong team up to fight another ape and another Godzilla, this is the movie for you. If you like that, if you're into that, it's for you. I think 50's a little stingy, but I can't say it's capped because the consensus is on point. So there you have it, y'all. It only got a 54%. I think that's a little stingy.
And the audience thought it was 91%.
Yeah, the audience thought it was, which I think that's capped. That 91% is high. I don't think it's that level of movie. Now I understand how Rotten Tomatoes works, right? It's an aggregate of positive versus negative reviews, but even so, I know our rating would technically contribute to that. I think 91% is just like it wasn't that level. I think 75, right in between, is a fair score. But those are just our humble opinion, folks. What do you all think? Did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? Leave any major scenes out. Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that red subscribe button so we can make sure those tomatoes never get capped. Hey, that's our show for the week. I'm Shabazz.
That's Angie.
And this is No Cap Tomatoes. Till next week, peace.